I accidentally hit the stop button. It says 15 years of Supernatural, 2005 to 2020, 15 seasons, 327 episodes. It says thanks for the memories, and then it has the guy's signatures, which is actually, by the looks of it, a print, not the actual signed shirt. I got this one at Super Buys, which was pretty good, for, I think it was $3. And I had, the same day I got a Golden Girls shirt, so that was pretty cool. I had been wanting a Golden Girls shirt, so it was pretty cool to find that for $3. And then this one, and there was another shirt I think that I got. I think they were all $3 a piece actually. And they happened to be in my size, so that's what I went with. Oh, the other one was a Naruto shirt with just a plain black t-shirt with a red cloud. If you know what I'm talking about. That store usually has some pretty cool stuff. And yeah. So, there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. But I just can't think of it. The Golden Girls shirt I had been wanting for a while, to have something Golden Girls in my t-shirts, because why not? It was a pretty cool show back in the day. Sadly, all of the actresses are passed away now, but yeah. Another show that I've been wanting to get a shirt or something for, shirt or hat, or maybe both, would be A Different World, which, if you don't know what that is, that was a TV show in the 80s and 90s. It was a fictional show about a fictional college, which, if you look up the acronym, it's kind of interesting. There actually was a historically female college with the same name, so that was pretty cool. Though in the TV show, the name was for a historically black college, and that kind of makes sense because it was a spin-off show of the Cosby Show. But what I always liked about it is it was a very interesting show. One of the things that they always would bring up topics that are pretty sensitive or weren't something that would be expected to have been on TV in those times. And some pretty positive messages. For example, one episode in particular I seem to come back to a lot is there was an episode on the R word. I don't know if we're not supposed to say that now on YouTube. I think that's in the terms you can get banned. I'll have to look again because it's been a while since I looked at the terms. But anyways, it was very detailed on no means no. And even then, such a topic wasn't usually brought up in TV shows. Which was a very good show back in the day, and for that episode, for example, Dwayne Wayne, which is one of the main characters, actually stood up for his friend because she thought he was just being jealous of her. Because he said the guy she wanted to spend time with was kind of weird acting and the way he talked and held himself and such. And she's like, oh, you're just jealous. He likes me. He's a nice guy. And then later on in the night, he actually tried to force himself on her. And of course, Dwayne happened to be nearby and helped her get away from the guy. And the guy ended up getting arrested and stuff. And it was a huge ordeal. And it wasn't, oh, that's just locker room talk, because he had made comments before about how females just act a certain way, but they may even say no and they don't mean it and all this stuff, and it wasn't treated as just locker room talk. It was actually addressed more appropriately. Because before Dwayne went to look into things, he thought it was kind of weird, so he brought it up to one of his mentors, who in the show was in charge of a sports team and a dorm and stuff. So, without actually outing who the guy was he was talking about, he just asked him about if it's a guy's job to convince a female that she needs to give it up. And he very explicitly went into details about how, no, that is not right. If she says no, that means no. End of story. And that was really powerful. And there was other episodes of different things. And it was a pretty good show for a lot of reasons. That episode in particular is a sensitive, real-life topic that a lot of people are afraid to talk about. And it's a weird noise. So they just made it very clear that, hey, it's not okay. And gave details and stuff. So there was a lot of powerful messages in the show. So it wasn't all just fiction, of course. I really watched the show a lot in my teen years, and it was helpful for me because now, as you can probably tell, I'm not actually a person of color. I'm not black, I'm not brown or anything, but for me, in my teens, I really wanted to go to college, but I didn't think or know for sure if it would happen. And as an autistic person, it was one of those shows that I used because it was a very good show to use for examples of how to connect with other people, how to I can't think of all the words I want to say, but it was one of the shows and movies that I watched a lot because my way of communicating isn't always the most understood. And with a show like that, it showed me a lot of things to be aware of. And, for example, the no means no thing, it's a very positive message because, and well, it was also very helpful to me because I didn't fully understand back then that taking back consent after agreeing to do something is okay. At that time, I thought you had to be really sure, knew if you want to do something, and then once you give that consent, you gave consent. I didn't realize that even after giving consent to something, if something didn't feel right, or doesn't feel right, you can revoke that consent. And so, that and some of the other powerful, positive messages were very helpful to me when I still had a lot to learn about the world. Now I know for sure that, yeah, consent works that way. And I know a lot of the things they said or how they acted is appropriate ways to act in public. Of course, there were some that were just kinda odd, but not actually how you should behave in public. But that was one of many shows and movies that I was able to kinda figure out through the years what works and what doesn't work. And now, even if I could still go to college, which is a long shot, I of course could not go to a historically black college, obviously, but there are other colleges I could go to, and I'd have a better understanding of things to keep in mind in those environments. Because obviously I wouldn't be one of the party people anyways, but if I did meet other people that were also non-traditional age, that would make good friends. That show, among others, has helped me shape ideas on what I'll accept from other people and things that I'll do or say myself. Like, obviously there's things I just wouldn't say because it's not in my personality. And it was one of those shows that showed me ways that I could improve on my people skills. I don't want to just say mask, because it wouldn't fully be masking if I just know something shouldn't be said or done. For example, I wouldn't have to say or do things to make people like me, which a lot of younger people get in that habit or mindset, however you want to word it, where they will try to be people pleasers. And they won't realize the power they have over their autonomy. And for me, I am still learning about human interactions and stuff, but I have a better grip on things because of this particular show, among others, and movies. I mean, for someone else, they might not need as much views of human interaction that's been scripted to get an idea of how to communicate with other people, but that's just one way that I used to use almost religiously to try and figure out, besides watching other people interact, because, well, it can be easier to focus on a TV show or a movie than actual people, because if you're not careful with actual people around that you're observing, they might get the idea that you're just being kind of creepy. Even for a female, that wrong impression can be put out there, so it's easier to stay in your own space and watch a TV show or movies to figure out social interactions. Now, luckily, I haven't really had any issues of being called out where people thought I was being creepy and just like focusing in on them, but it could happen. And now I've trailed off. And yeah, keep getting distracted. So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna let everyone go. It's 12:05 now. I need to get some water and get some sleep. So, until next time, take care. Bye.